Hello, welcome back to some Strat-O-Matic baseball. Today I am doing either a one-off or I might end up doing a best of seven series between the 1934 New York Yankees and the 1936 Negro League Pittsburgh Crawfords. So I thought that would be fun. 34 to 36 is pretty similar in years and stats, so the starting pitchers today for the Yankees will be Lefty Gomez, Hall of Famer, and going for the Crawfords here in Greenleaf Field in Pittsburgh is Satchel Paige, another Hall of Famer. So we got some great players in this game. We have the aging Babe Ruth and the aging Oscar Charleston, two great players, of course. Lou Gehrig, Josh Gibson. So got some big names in this one. So should be a lot of fun. And like I said, I may end up making this a best of seven, but at least get this one in. The weather today at Greenlee Field is bad, so that will favor the pitchers a bit. And with 1930, very offensive time period in Major League Baseball. So usually I use the computer to help I put in the dice roll and it does all the computing. So because of the Negro League, they don't have the cards lined up for those teams. So I am going to be doing this one by hand. So there may be some mistakes. May have to do some pausing and remembering and researching, but it will be fun nonetheless. If there's anything you see that I miss, that I'm doing incorrectly, let me know so I can improve. And I'm doing most of the super advanced as much as I can remember. And so without further ado, let's get going. So leading off for the Yankees will be George Selkirk in left field today. He was a part-time player, so I let the computer do the lineups for this one. So they went with him with the right-hander Satchel Paige on the mound. So here we go. Here is Satchel Paige, and we get a 4-12 versus a lefty. And right off the bat, we get a first base X. Oscar Charleston at first is a 317. So that would be a 20. So he will get to it. And then he's a 17 E rating. And he has a 9. So 17, 9. And he is able to make the play. So nice play by the veteran Oscar Charleston. Put that into the computer, so ground out, and we'll just say it was the first baseman. So one away. That'll bring up Jack Saltzgiver, playing third base today. As you can see, he hit 271, 6 homers, 36 RBIs, and 350 at-bats. The left-hander Saltzgiver versus the righty Satchel Paige. We get a 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to Say at second, and he will toss over to Oscar Charleston. And we have 2 away here for Satchel Paige. That'll bring up Babe Ruth. I'm pretty sure this was the last year he was with the Yankees. I believe he went to the Braves in 1935, the Boston Braves, and that was the extent. So he had a decent year, not Babe Ruth-esque, but still good. He hit 288, 22 home runs, and 365 at-bats. So we have the aging Ruth versus Satchel Paige. 2-7 versus the righty, and he is able to work a walk from Satchel Paige. So that will put the Babe on first base to extend the inning for Lou Gehrig. So Babe, not much of a stealer, obviously at that age, so he will be hanging tight. And he doesn't have the star, so I believe that means he doesn't automatically get the lead if he's not held. So Oscar Robertson will play behind Babe Ruth. Got some aging all-stars there hanging around first base, and so that'll bring up Lou Gehrig, who had a phenomenal year, 363, 49 home runs, 165 RBIs, 40 doubles, 6 triples. So pretty incredible. So here we go. Satchel Paige versus Lou Gehrig. That's a 1-7, and that's going to be a ballpark. A lefty versus here at the Greenleaf Field is 1-9. We rolled an 8, so Lou Gehrig has gone yard. So how about that? So Paige gets one over the plate, and Lou Gehrig deposits it over the right field fence. So that will put the Yankees up 2-0. So good job by Babe there to get the walk to get Lou Gehrig up. And Lou Gehrig hits the first home run of the series. That'll bring up Tony Lazzeri, second baseman, hit 267, 14 homers, 67 RBIs, and 438 at bats. That's a 2-9 versus a righty, and Paige gets his revenge with a strikeout. So that will do it for the Yankees here in the first. They get 2 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, nobody left. And after a half an inning, New York is up 2-0. Lefty Gomez will take the mound for the Yankees. Left-handed pitcher, obviously, and he will start off with Jimmy Crutchfield. Jimmy Crutchfield playing right field today is hit 301, 3 homers, 61 RBIs. That's a 6-8, and that will be popped up. Lou Gehrig calls for it, and there's quickly 1 away. That brings up Dixie, second baseman for the Crawfords. Here is the offering from Gomez. He gets a 5-4, and that's going to be a third base X. Unfortunately for the Yankees, Saltzgiver is a 423, so he's not the best defender at third. Let's see if he's able to get to it. So a 15-4. So he is able to get to it, and he got a 14 and a 23. And he is able to make the play. No error. So a good play by Saltzgiver, who's normally not known for his glove. Out 5-3, and there are 2 away here. Sam Bankhead steps to the plate, and he hit 299. No home runs. He did have 61 RBIs, 42 doubles. Playing center field for the Crawfords this afternoon. And he gets a 3-7, and that's a ground ball to Saltzgiver again at third, and he fields this one as well. And lefty Gomez is able to retire the Crawfords 1-2-3. So after 1, the Yankees are up 2-0, thanks on the Lou Gehrig homer. So, did I miss something here? Let me see here. Make sure I'm doing this accurately. That I'm Just a sec. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm not used to doing this without the aid of the computer, so say grounded out. Okay, I guess I just forgot to put in that last ground out. So, all right, so say was out 5-3. And Bankhead was out 5-3. Okay. So Satchel Paige will focus on Frank Cressetti, Yankees shortstop, who hit 265, 11 homers, 67 RBIs. He gets a 2-7, and that's going to be another walk. So Satchel a little wild today. Gives up his second walk of the game. See, Cressetti had 5 stolen bases and 6 caught stealing. So we're going to, and he doesn't automatically get a lead if he is not being held. So Charleston will play behind Cressetti. And that'll bring up Ben Chapman, who hit 308, 5 homers, 86 RBIs. Center fielder for the Yankees today. And that's a 1-5, and that's going to be a whiff. So Satchel Paige chalks up his second strikeout of the game for the first out of the inning. That brings up the catcher, Art Georgians, who hit 208 with 20 home runs and limited play. He gets a 4-6, and that's going to be a single to center field. Bankhead has a -3 arm, so Cressetti is going to hold at second. Second hit of the afternoon for the Yankees. With 2 out, that'll bring, or with 1 away, runners on first and second, that'll bring up Lefty Gomez, who is a 1-hitter. So he is an A bunter, so they're going to have the corners in, so he's going to try to bunt. So with an A bunter, that will make him a B. So we will roll these 3 dice to see how that turns out. So he gets a 4 B speed, which means batter lay down a great bunt. He has a chance to beat it out for a single. Roll 20-sided dice, and if it falls within his running range, scored as a single, runner advance. If it fails outside, scored as a sack. So he's a 10, as most pitchers are, and he's able to beat it out. So how about that? Great bunt by Lefty Gomez, and he will single, and the bases are loaded. Okay, so that'll bring up George Selkirk, who grounded out to first. Let's see. I think I need to do the runners. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not used to doing that, but I think that helps a little bit. Keep track of the game. So Lefty Gomez had a bunt single. So they're going to play back and hope for the double play here. So here's Paige's delivery. He gets a 4-7, and unfortunately, that's going to be a 2-run single. So the Yankees go up 4-0. So if you were coming to hope to watch a good game from Satchel Paige, he is not having it so far. So Frank Cressetti scores from third. Art Georgian scores from second. Lefty Gomez will go to third, and Selkirk is on first with a 2-run single. So now the Crawfords will bring the infield in for Jack Saltzgiver. Let's see what Selkirk. Again, he is not that great of a stealer. He doesn't have the star, so they're going to play behind him, and he's automatically out on 11 and only gets a lead on a 6. So they're going to not try to steal. So corners in for Saltzgiver, who grounded out to say his first at bat. That's a 1-9, and that's a ground ball to the pitcher B. And I believe that requires a special chart. And as I believe the pitcher's considered in if the infield is in. Okay, so we got runners on first and third. A ground ball B7. The batter is safe. Lead runner is out. Other runners advance 1 base. So Lefty Gomez tries to score, and Page throws him out at the plate. So Gomez is out 1-2 for the second out of the inning. Selkirk goes to second, and Saltzgiver is on with a fielder's choice. So let's see if I could figure out. So that would be a fielder's choice. He is out. See, Gomez is out. Selkirk goes to second, and it was 1-2. I think that's accurate. Okay, so Crawford's able to stop that 5th run from scoring, and that brings up Babe Ruth with 2 out and 2 on. He walked and scored on Lou Gehrig's home run last inning. And he gets a 3-3, and he is going to walk again. So Page not able to throw strikes to the Babe. And so now the bases are loaded for Lou Gehrig, the one person Satchel's not wanting to face in this situation. But face him he must. So Lou Gehrig hit a 2-run bomb last inning. So bases loaded, 2 out. Satchel Paige versus Lou Gehrig. That's a 3-9, and he walks. So Satchel Paige not having a good game at all. That's Lou Gehrig's 3rd RBI of the game. And this will bring up Tony Lazzeri, which will have the Yankees batting around. He's the only Yankee not to bat this inning. So that's a 4-10 versus a righty. That's a single ballpark chance. And as a righty, he hits 1-11, and he got a 1-star single. So run number 6 for the Yankees. So Saltzgiver scores. Ruth goes to third. Gehrig to first. Single and RBI for Tony Lazzeri. That brings up Frank Crosetti, who walked and scored to start the inning. That's a 5-8, and that's a ground ball to second base X. Say is a 223. So see if Say can catch this and stop the woes. So 16-2. So he is able to get to it, and he gets a 6 on a 23. 23. And he makes a good play. So great play by Say there to end the inning. Finally. So Cassetti is out. 4-3. And everybody stays on the base they are on. So that'll do it for the Yankees here, but not before they plate 4 runs. On 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits. There was no errors, and they left the bases juiced. So after 1.5, the Yankees out to a commanding 6-0 lead. So see if Crawfords can pull back here against Lefty Gomez. He retired them in order the first inning. Josh Gibson, the Hall of Fame catcher who's playing left field today, will lead things off for the Crawfords. He gets a 3-8 versus a lefty, and he leads off with a walk. So he had hit 350, 42 homers, 126 RBIs, 18 doubles, 12 triples. So he is on at first. He has a 4-5 to get a lead. See, he had 6 stolen bases and 3 caught stealing. So they're going to hold him, but he is not going to try to steal. So put that in that he walked. So that'll bring up the great Oscar Charleston in the twilight of his career. He hit 342, 14 home runs, and 234 at bats. So even though he didn't play as much, still playing very effectively. So he gets a 3-6 versus a lefty, 1-2-16. He rolled a 15, and it's gone. So how about that? Oscar Charleston trying to put the Crawfords back in the game. It's a 2-run bomb. And it is 6-2, New York. Lefty against lefty there. Didn't seem to bother Charleston any. And the Crawfords are on the board. So that will bring up Bill Perkins with nobody on, nobody out. He hit 243, 3 homers, and 36 RBIs. He gets a 5-9 versus a righty, and that's a strikeout. So out number 1, first strikeout of the game for Perkins, or for Gomez, rather. And that will bring Ralph Burgeon, third baseman, to the plate. He hit 175 in limited play. Did have 3 homers. He gets a 2-8 versus a lefty, and that's a fly ball out to Chapman in center field, who will put it away with no problem. And there's 2 away. Judy Johnson. I believe he's a Hall of Famer, but he had an off year this year, just hit 206 and 446 at bat, so 2 out, nobody on. That's a 5-7 versus a righty, and that's another strikeout. So 2 strikeouts for Gomez this inning. But the Crawfords do get on the board with a 2-run home run by Oscar Charleston with Josh Gibson on first base. So they get 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. So after 2 complete, it is 6-2 Yankees. So Satchel Paige will take the mound, see if he can settle down and do better than he did the first couple innings. So Ben Chapman will lead things off. He struck out in his first at bat. So that's a 5-5, and he strikes out again. So Satchel Paige off to a better start here in the top of the third. Al Georgian, who singled and scored last inning, will step to the plate, righty versus righty. That's a 2-10, and that's popped up on the infield. Judy Johnson will wave everybody off, and there are 2 away. And I didn't want that yet. So let's pop out to the shortstop. And with 2 out, nobody on, Lefty Gomez, who had a bunt single and was thrown out at the plate trying to score. Later, gets a 4-12 versus a lefty. That's a first base X. Oscar Charleston is a 3-17. So that's a 19, so he's able to get to it. And again, he is a 17 at first. We rolled a 9, and so he makes a good play for the 3rd out of the inning. So we'll say he took that one to the bag himself. So Satchel Paige rebounds after getting a couple runs on his team. He shuts them out in order here in the 3rd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, still 6-2, New York. Satchel Paige will hit first here in the home half of the 3rd. I got to remember these runners. I'm doing horrible with that. I'll get it. All right, so Satchel Paige is a 4 hitter. He hit 231 in real life. That's a 5-7, and he is a righty, and that's a strikeout. So Satchel Paige goes down. That would be the 3rd strikeout of the day for Lefty Gomez, who's pitching a pretty good game except for that bomb to Oscar Charleston. So Jimmy Crutchfield, leadoff hitter. He popped out to first base his first at bat. He gets a 1-10, and that's going to be a single up the middle. So 2nd hit of the game for the Crawfords. And he is going to be held. He's able to get a lead at 6. Looks like Georgian has a -1 arm, and Gomez has a 0 hold. So we might try to see if Crutchfield can get a lead to steal. So he needs a 6. And he gets a 6. So he did indeed get a lead. So that's 14 he's held, which makes him 12. And we have a -1 on Georgian, which is an 11. So 1-11, he will make it. And 2, and he does. So that's a possible error. And Georgian's is a 1-15. So 1-15, it's in center field. And it's in center field, so how about that? So the Crawfords making some stuff happen with their speed. So he steals 2nd and then makes it to 3rd on the error by Georgians. That's the first error of the game. And so that will put Crutchfield at 3rd base with 1 out. So we got a stolen base. Let's see if we got a stolen base. Yep, stolen base plus error goes to 3rd. Error on the catcher. And there he is. So that brings up Dick Say. The Yankees will play back, wanting to get the out. Say grounded out to 3rd base his first at bat. He gets a 3-3 versus a lefty, and that's popped up on the infield. Crissetti will call for it, put it away for out number 2. So Dick Say not able to advance that runner home with 1 out. So with 2 out and Crutchfield on 3rd, that will bring up Sam Bankhead. So we got to get that pop out in the books here to the shortstop. So Sam Bankhead, he grounded out to 3rd in his first at bat as well. So 2 out, runner on 3rd. Clutch situation here. That's a 3-9 versus the lefty, and Bankhead strikes out. So good job by Lefty Gomez. They get no runs. There was 1 hit, 1 error, 1 runner left. And so after 3 complete, it is still 6-2 New York Yankees. So Satchel Paige, seeing if he can have another successful inning as he did last inning. He will face the top of the New York lineup with George Selkirk, who is grounded out, had a 2-run single and scored. That's a 5-12. That's a first base X. So Charleston will get yet another opportunity to show his defensive prowess. So that's a 9-3. So he is able to get to it. And he is a 17 at first. And we rolled a 13. And he makes the play. So another fine defensive play by the veteran at first base. And we'll say he went 3-1 this time. And there is one away here in the top of the fourth. Jack Saltzgiver, third baseman, has hit to ground out and reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the second. That's a 6-10, and that will be an opportunity for Judy Johnson at the shortstop. He is a 2-20. So he gets a 6-2, so he gets to the ball. And 20 at shortstop. He rolled a 5, so that's going to be a rare play. Let's see. What kind of... Let's see, a 6-2. That's a G2 rare play. Batter lines a shot that deflects off the pitcher to the fielder, who makes the play to first for the out. Runners advance if forced. Okay, so that bounces off Page, so that'll be a 1-6-3 grounder out. But out nonetheless. So I wonder if they'll let you put that in as a 1-6-3. Yep, let you do it. All right, so 2 out, nobody on for Babe Ruth, who has walked twice. Scored once on Lou Gehrig's homer in the first. 6-7, and this time Satchel Paige wins the battle with strikeout. So for the second inning in a row, Satchel Paige has retired them in order. Trying to see if he can hold the Yankees at 6 and give his team a chance to chip away at that lead. All right, so let me put in Ruth's strikeout. Big whiff for the Babe there. All right, so here in the bottom of the fourth, Josh Gibson, who has walked and scored on Oscar Charleston's home run back in the second, will lead off. That's a 6-9. That's a ground ball to short X. Crissetti is a 248. So 18-2, so he does get to the ball. And a 48 at shortstop. He rolled a 11, and he makes the play. So good play by Crissetti there to get to it. Throw out Josh Gibson. So that's a ground out, 6-3 for the first out here in the fourth. Oscar Charleston will step to the plate. He hit that 2-run bomb back in the second to put the Crawfords on the board. He gets a 1-5 versus a lefty, and Gomez wins this battle with a strikeout. So quickly 2 away here in the fourth. So it looks like both pitchers are settling down a bit. Bill Perkins struck out in his first at bat. Let me put down strikeout for Charleston. All right, so Bill Perkins, 2 out, nobody on. He gets a 5-10 versus the righty, and that's a fly ball out to Babe Ruth in right field. And this will be a can of corn for the Babe. And they are 3 away. So the Crawfords go down in order here in the bottom of the fourth. And after 4 complete, we are still 6-2 New York Yankees. Okay, Satchel Paige has 4, 5, and 6 here to face in the Yankee fifth. He has retired 7 in a row. Lou Gehrig has hit a 2-run homer, and he walked in a run. Let's see. That's a 1-7 versus a righty. And he is a left-handed batter. We got a 4, and Lou Gehrig has gone yard again. So Lou Gehrig not having much problem with Satchel Paige today. That'll be his second home run of the game. They didn't have a lot of relief pitching back in those days. Let me see if they've got anything in the bullpen here. See if we do a series. Got Matlock, Harvey, Fireball, Smith, Sam Streeter. And let's see if Page can settle down. If I can, I'm not paying a lot of attention to the fatigue ratings just because back then it was a different game. So, all right, so that's a 6-2 versus a righty, and that's going to be another single. So Lazzari hits a base hit. And he is going to be held, but he's not going to try to steal. But he will be held on. That brings up Frank Cressetti, who has walked and scored and grounded out. So yeah, we are going to hold him. I'll put that. Because he does get a lead automatically if he's not held. That's a 1-4 versus a righty, and that's an 11. And 1-15 is a single, so another single. So that's the 8th hit today for the Yankees. All right, we'll give Page one more batter here, and if he doesn't do it, we will have to be forced to go to the pen. So Ben Chapman has struck out twice, so hopefully Page can continue his luck with him. That's a 3-8 versus a righty, and that's a single with 2 stars. So that will drive in a run. Lazzari will score. Cressetti to third. And that will do it for Page. So, not his finest performance by any stretch of the imagination. So, we will go to the pen here with the home team. I think the one we want is... we'll go with Sam Streeter. Well, with him this far behind, if we decide to go 7, he's going to be the 4th starter. So let's go with Big Bill Foster. So that'll be it for Page. He gets a half-hearted round of applause here from the Pittsburgh faithful. So we're going to bring in Big Bill Foster into pitch. Okay, so there's nobody out. They're just going to play back for the double play, though. Let's see, Sam Chapman needs to be held, but he's not going to try to steal. But they will hold him. All right, so Jorgens is, let's see, Big Bill Foster. Left-hander will come in to face Jorgens, infield in. And here is Big Bill Foster's delivery. And that's a 6-10 versus a righty. And we hit the ballpark and we rolled a 2. So that will be a 1-run single for Jorgens. Or Jorgens. So don't look like Big Bill Foster's going to do much better. right, that'll bring on Lefty Gomez, and they will bring the corners in. He is an A bunter. So see what he is able to do here for the Yankees. So he gets a 12. He's a B, 1 and 2 pitcher, throws a ball, and then batter fouls off 2 pitches. Offensive manager must decide whether or not to take off the bunt. If he stays with the bunt and this reading occurs again, the batter is on a strikeout. So he's 1 and 2 count. I think with them having this lead, they'll just go ahead and let him hit. So they're going to take off the bunt. And he gets a 3-5, and he proceeds to ground into a 6-4-3 double play. So perhaps they should have stayed with the bunt. A strikeout would have been better than a double play here. But he is out 6-4-3 nonetheless. So that's a break for the Crawfords. Let's see. Do they have double play? It doesn't look like. So we'll do ground out. Gomez is out. Jorgens is out. Chapman goes to third. And that would be a 6-4-3. All right. So that will put Chapman at third base with 2 outs for the leadoff hitter, George Selkirk, who is 1 for 3 with a 2-run single. And he gets a 3-9 versus the lefty, and that will be bounced back to the pitcher. And Foster will toss it to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So decent job by Foster there. He allowed the 1 run, but that was it. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Yankees have increased their lead to 9-2. So this is 1930 baseball, so anything is possible. So they got 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. No errors. They left 1 runner on. And so after 4.5, 9-2 Yankees. So we have 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Crawfords here in their half of the 5th. Ralph Burgeon, the third baseman, it flew out his last at bat with Lefty Gomez on the heel. We get a 3-6 versus the lefty. And that will be a ground ball to third base, and Saltzgaber will throw him out. Over to Gehrig. And there's 1 away. Judy Johnson is a strikeout victim in his first at bat. That's a 2-6 versus the lefty, and he flies out to Chapman in center. And he will squeeze it for out number 2. So that will bring up Big Bill Foster, who is a 6 hitter with power. According to his card. Looks like his stats here on the screen would say different, but we'll go with what the card says. So Big Bill Foster up to the plate with nobody on and 2 out. Put him here, Bill Foster. Pitcher. That's a 5-6 versus the right-hander, and he will be a strikeout victim. So Lefty Gomez is doing a great job today. Retires them in order. So we go to the top of the 6th. Still 9-2 Yankees. All right, Big Bill Foster. We'll see if he can continue his goodness. He will lead off with 2, 3, and 4 here for the Yankees in the 6th. Saltzgaber is reached on a fielder's choice and scored in his 3 plate appearances. Missed the tower again. 211 versus a lefty. That would be a ballpark check, and versus a left-hander, he needs to be a 1 to 10, roll to 14, so that will be a line out to say at first. So the ballpark didn't get him this time. That's the line out to say at second. 1 away. Babe Ruth has walked twice and struck out. Scored a run. He gets a 6-5, and that will be a fly ball out to left field. So Ruth goes the other way, but Josh Gibson will squeeze it for out number 2. Lou Gehrig, who is the star of the game so far, has hit 2 home runs, walked in a run, so he's got 4 RBIs for the day. He gets a 1-7 versus the lefty, and that's his home run check with the ballpark. We got a 10. So he just missed that one. 1 to 9 would have been out of here. So he hits it deep to right field, but Crutchfield is at the wall, and he will put it away. So Lou Gehrig just missed his 3rd home run of the day. And that will do it for the Yankees in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, still 9-2, New York. So top of the order here for the Crawfords. So this is a good time for them to try to see if they can inch back into this game. Crutchfield is a 1 for 2. He has a stolen base and made it to third on an error. So he gets a 3-6 versus the lefty, and he proceeds to strike out. Strikeout number 7 for Gomez today. Second baseman Dick Say, who is 0 for 2. We'll see what he can do against Gomez. That's a 2-6 versus a lefty, and he pops it up on the infield. Saltzgeber, the third baseman, will size it up, put it away for out number 2. Sam Bankhead is grounded out and struck out today, so other than that single by Crutchfield, the top 3 of the Crawfords hasn't had much success today. So that's a 4-10. That's a ballpark. We rolled a 2, so that is within the range. So Bankhead able to get a single, 2-out single, to bring up Josh Gibson to the plate. Let's see, Bankhead doesn't automatically get a lead, but he can get one, but they're not going to hold him because they're not expecting him to try to steal. So Gehrig will play behind Bankhead. Josh Gibson, who has walked and grounded out to short. Let's see what he can do here. He gets a 3-5 versus a lefty, and that's a fly ball out to left field. So he pulls it, but not deep enough. Selkirk will take a few steps toward the line and squeeze it for out number 3. So another good inning by Lefty Gomez. He's just given up 3 hits total to the Crawfords today. We go to the top of the 7th. New York still with a 7-run lead. So Big Bill Foster will focus his attention here to Tony Lazzeri. Tony Lazzeri is 2 for 3 with an RBI, run scored. He did strike out in the first. That's a 3-5 versus a lefty, and he gets a single. It's a single to right field, so he goes the other way. Crutchfield, the right fielder, will field it and toss it back to the infield. They will hold him on first, but he's not going to try to steal. Yankees not wanting to add insult to injury here. Frank Cressetti is walked and singled and scored twice. He gets a 2-5 versus the lefty, 19, and that's going to be a double. And they're going to hold Lazari up at third with nobody out. They feel confident they can get him in. So that will put runners on second and third and nobody out. So the Yankees continue to pound Crawford pitching. So the Crawfords are just going to play back here. They're going to try to get the outs if they can. Chapman is 1 for 3 with an RBI. He gets a 3-12 versus the lefty, and he has been hit by a pitch plus an injury. So I'm not doing injuries, so at least not in this particular game. So he is hit by a pitch, which will load the bases, which will give him an opportunity for a double play. Can't help but wonder if maybe that was intentional. All right, so bases loaded, nobody out for Art Georgians, who has 2 for 3 runs scored, an RBI. So Crawford's hoping for a double play. 3-7 versus the lefty, and he walks. So Foster's not able to do a lot here. So that will walk in the 10. Big Bill Foster is tired, so it is keeping track of that for me at least. So that's cool. But again, I'm probably going to ignore that right now, just because. So that will give the Yankees their 10th run. That's the second RBI by Art Georgian, so just about everybody's getting in on the action. So that brings up the pitcher. So they're going to, again, keep the infield back, hoping for a double play. That's a 4-4, and versus the lefty, that'll be a fly ball out to Bankhead in center field, who is a 2-7. So hopefully he will be able to haul that one in. So he gets an 11 in center field. So that's he's a 2, so that's an F2. And he's a 7, and we rolled a 15. And unfortunately, that's going to be a 2-base error. So just double check that. 10, 15, and he's a 7. And yep, 2-base error. So 2-base error on Bankhead, so that's not going to help matters any. That's a 2-base error on the center fielder. And that puts the Yankees up 12-2. Especially with the pitcher. Hoping for an out there. So an E8. And that will be the first error for the given up by the Crawfords today. Well, let's see what else the Crawfords might have on as far as pitching here. Now let's go ahead and bring in Lanky Lewis. With a name like that, he's got to be good. So Lanky Lewis will come in for Bill Foster. See if he can have better success. Oop, Lanky Lewis. Huh. Looks like they don't have a card for him. So I don't want that. I thought I saw the card. Oh, there he is. They do have a card for him. I put him in the wrong place. All right, so Lanky Lewis. So again, they'll keep the infield back, just trying to get some outs here. Selkirk will come up. He is 1 for 4 with a 2-run single. That's a 5-10 versus a lefty, and he proceeds to walk him. So the pitching woes continue for the Crawfords. So again, they have the opportunity for a double play at least. So Jack Saltzgiver will step to the plate. He is 1 for 4. That's a 1-6 versus a lefty, and he walks. So it just gets worse and worse. And you got Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig coming up. So probably walking him was not the wise thing to do. All right, so the Babe will step to the plate. He is walked twice and 0 for 2 officially. He gets a 5-5, and that will be a fly ball to left field, so it's a sacrifice fly, but at least they get an out. So that would be a sac fly out to left field. So Gibson will catch it, but not able to cut off Gomez at the plate. But like I said, they finally get an out. First RBI of the game for Babe Ruth, and that brings up Lou Gehrig, who has hit 2 home runs and just missed a third and walked. It is lefty versus lefty, so hopefully that'll help the Crawfords some. That's a 2-8, and that's going to be a fielder's choice. So Charleston will catch it and throw on to Johnson, but that will be all they will be able to get. So we got a fielder's choice. Saltzgiver's out at first. That's accurate. So that's first baseman to shortstop. Okay, so Selkirk will go to third. Saltzgiver out 3-6 for out number 2. Fielder's choice for Gehrig. And see, Gehrig doesn't automatically get a lead, so they're going to play behind him. And they're not going to try to steal. And once again, the Yankees, for the second time in the game, have batted around. And so Tony Lazzeri, who led off the inning with a single and scored, he gets a 6-6 versus a righty, and that's a fly ball out to left field. And finally, they are out of this inning. So Josh Gibson will catch it for out number 3. So third out of the game there. So they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs on just 2 base hits. There was 1 very costly error, and they left 3 on base. So 7th inning stretch here in Pittsburgh. The Yankees up 14-2. So this one has not turned out to be a nail-biter for sure. So Oscar Charleston will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th versus lefty Gomez. Charleston has a 2-run home run, which accounts for the Crawfords' only 2 runs. So that's a 4-8 versus a lefty, and he strikes out again. So after giving up that homer to Charleston, lefty Gomez has struck him out the last 2 times. Strikeout number 8 for Gomez for the day. That'll bring up Bill Perkins, who is 0 for 2. He gets a 2-5 versus a lefty, and he'll draw a walk. So that's just the second walk given up by Gomez. And they're going to play behind him at first, and he's not going to try to do anything, being as far down as he is, or as they are. That brings up Ralph Burgeon, who is 0 for 2. That's a 2-9 versus a lefty, and that's going to be a fielder's choice. So Cressetti will grab it and throw on to Lazzeri, but they're not able to turn the double play. So that's a fielder's choice, 6-4. So 6-4, 2 out, fielder's choice for Burgeon. And same thing, they're going to play behind him at first. Judy Johnson will step to the plate. He is 0 for 2 today. That's a 5-4 versus righty. That will be an X chance by Saltzgiver, who's not a great fielder, but he did make a good play earlier in the game. So see if he will able to field this one. So that's an 11-4. And so he does get to the ball. And that's a 4. And he is a 23. 23-4. And he makes the play. So another good play by Saltzgeber, who again is not known for his glove. But he has made both of his X chances today. So 5-3, and that will do it for the Crawfords in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left. We go to the top of the 8th. 14-2, New York Yankees. So Lanky Lewis, we'll see what he can do with the Yankees here in the 8th. He will start off against Frank Cressetti, who is 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored and a double. That's a 4-5 versus the righty, and that will be a fly ball out to Crutchfield in right field, who will put it away with no difficulties. 1 away. Ben Chapman will take his place in the right-handed batter's box. He is 1 for 3, been hit by a pitch, scored a run, and driven in a run. That's a 5-5 versus the righty, and he will walk. And he's a good chance to steal. So we're probably going to go ahead and hold him on, but he's not going to try to steal. So they will hold him on first. So Al Georgens, the Yankee catcher, is got a couple RBIs, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. A pretty good game. He gets a 2-4 versus the lefty, and that's going to be a single to left field. Chapman will hold up at second. And the Yankees continue to have their way with Pittsburgh pitching. That's the 13th hit of the game by the New York Ball Club. Lefty Gomez will step to the plate. They're going to go ahead and just let him hit away. He reached on a costly 2-base error last inning by Bankhead in center field. That's a 5-7 versus the lefty, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Bankhead again, but he is able to catch this one. And there are 2 away. All right, George Selkirk has walked, singled in 2 runs, scored 1 run. That's a 3-10. That's a ground ball to shortstop. And Johnson will throw on to first, and that will do it for the Yankees. So Lewis able to keep them from scoring at least. So he is out. 6-2-3. All right. Just a couple more chances here for the Crawfords to make a showing for themselves. Lefty Gomez not giving them much opportunity. Pitching a fine game, especially by 1930 standards. So we'll go ahead and pinch hit here for the pitcher. Let me see. Lefty Lewis. He's a 4, which isn't too bad. So we'll go ahead and let him hit because they don't have a lot of extra pitching. And it's not like it's close, so they'll go ahead and let Lanky Lewis hit. So put him in the book. All right, so he is a 4 with no power. 4-8 versus a righty. 1-8 is a single, but he gets an 18, so that's the line out to shortstop. So he hit it hard, but Cressetti was able to stab it for out number 1. Jimmy Crutchfield with 1 out, nobody on. He is 1 for 3 today. He gets a 6-11 versus a lefty. That's a fly ball to Babe Ruth and an X chance, and he is a 4-12. So the aging Ruth not as defensively prowess as he used to be. So that's a 1 and a 4. So that's actually going to be a triple. We got a 9 with a 12. So he doesn't make an error, but he's not able to get to it. So Crutchfield will get into third easily with a triple. So the Babe's legs not able to carry him to that one. So that'll put the runner on third with nobody out, or 1 out rather, for Dick Say. The Yankees will play back, of course. Just wanting to get the out. Say is 0 for 3 today. He gets a 3-8 versus the lefty, and that's a ground ball to third B. I'm pretty sure that will score the runner. Runner on third, B5. If it's hit to second or short, the batter is out. Runners advance 1 base. Otherwise, batter out, runners hold, and that's with the infield back. So Crutchfield not taking a chance, and Saltzgaber looks him back and throws out the runner, and so they're not able to get the run in. So he stays at his base, and that's out 5-3. So not getting any breaks at all for the Crawfords. Out number 2, and that'll bring Sam Bankhead up. He's 1 for 3. 2 out, runner on third. That's a 6-11 with a righty. That's a fly ball to X again. So Babe Ruth with another chance here to see if he can get to it with his aging legs. That's a 10-4, and that's going to be a single. He's a 12, and we got a 12. So he doesn't make an error, but he's not able to get to it. So that will play to run for the Crawford. So a few fans that are left in the seats cheer. And that'll bring up the mighty Josh Gibson. So trying to get some pride here for the hometown team. Okay, I got to remember to put Josh on first base. Like I said, I've done horrible this whole game with that, but I will try to get better. All right, so Gibson on first base, 2 out. Did I miss something here? 3-9. I had to pause for a little bit to make sure. But yeah, I think Josh Gibson is actually Sam Bankhead's on first base, and Josh Gibson is at the plate with 2 outs. All right. So Gibson is walked in 3 at plate appearances, so he's been kind of quiet today. See if he can get something here. He gets a 1-9 versus a lefty, and that's right in the middle of everything, and he's going to ground out to Lazari at shortstop. So that will do it for the Crawfords in the 8th. So Gibson is out. Bankhead stays. And that would be out 4-3. All right. They did get 1 run on 2 base hits. No errors or runner left. We go to the top of the 9th. It is 14-3. So see if Lanky Lewis can get through the 9th without any further damage. He's got 2, 3, and 4 up. Saltzgaber is up, and he is 0 for 4. He does have a walk, a RBI, and a run scored. That's a 4-5 versus a lefty, and that's a ground ball to Charleston at first base. He will flip to Lanky Lewis, and that will do it for Saltzgaber. So that's 3-1, one away. The Babe steps to the plate. He has a couple walks, sacrifice fly, and a run scored. Again in his last year with the Yankees. 5-10 versus a lefty, and he draws his third walk of the day. So the Babe showing some patience at the plate. And Oscar Charleston is going to play behind him. And here comes the possible all-star of the game, Lou Gehrig. 2 for 4 with a couple home runs. And drove in a run on a walk. Just missed his third home run in the 6th. He gets a 5-5 versus a lefty. And that's a fly ball the opposite way to the left field to Josh Gibson. And he puts it away for the second out of the inning. Isn't that great? Lou Gehrig flies to Josh Gibson. Babe Ruth on first base. Oscar Charleston playing behind him. That kind of stuff is why this hobby is so much fun for me. All right, 2 out. Babe Ruth on first. Tony Lazzeri steps to the plate. He's 3 for 5. Scored a couple runs, driven in a run. And that's a 5-10 with a righty. That's a single chance, and he got a 1. So with the ballpark, that is. So he gets a 1-star single. Hit number 14 to match 14 runs for the Yankees. Frank Cressetti with 2 out, 2 on. He is 2 for 4 with a walk. He has scored 3 times. He has a double. 3-8 versus a lefty, and that's a ground ball to Burgeon at third. He fires across the infield, and that will do it for the Yankees in the 9th. So put in the stats here. Out 5-3. Okay, so last chance here in the bottom of the 9th for the hometown Pittsburgh Crawfords. Down by 11. Lefty Gomez, we'll see if he can finish this out. He has pitched a very good game, again, by 1930 standards. He will lead off here with Oscar Charleston, who has homered and struck out twice. 2-9 versus a lefty, and that's a ground ball to Lazzeri at second base. He throws on to Gehrig, and there's 1 away. The catcher, Bill Perkins, giving Josh Gibson the day off behind the plate with Josh in left field. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. 3-4 versus a lefty, and that will be a strikeout. So strikeout number 9 for lefty Gomez. And the Crawfords are down to their last out. Ralph Burgeon is 0 for 3. He did reach on a fielder's choice back in the 7th. That's a 3-9 versus a lefty. That's popped up on the infield. And Frank Cressetti, the shortstop, waves everybody off. And that will do it for the game. All right, so pop out 6. So the star of the game's, I'm going to do co-stars. Lefty Gomez. Let me look at the box score here. Let me see if I'm able to, if it will let me switch over here. I don't think so. I have it set up differently, but at any rate, I can give you the numbers here. So Lefty Gomez went 9 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, just the 1 home run to Oscar Robertson. Unfortunately, Satchel Paige takes the loss, 9 earned runs in 4 innings. Not a great day for him. The hitting star for the Yankees is Lou Gehrig. He had 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, couple runs scored. Like I said, just missed his 3rd home run. So kind of an anticlimactic game, but enjoyable nonetheless. Like I said in my previous video, watching baseball demos, his newest project is Strat-O-Matic, and it kind of watching that has kind of got me hankering from some Strat-O-Matic, and I just got the Negro League Diamond Gems A and B, and was going to play a game between those two, but I thought, well, maybe play a game against the Yankees. The Yankees were actually second in the American League this year to the Tigers, but they made a good account for themselves this afternoon. So anyway, I appreciate it very much, and looks like maybe that the play-by-play held up. Not for sure. But anyway, if there was something you saw that didn't get through, let me know, and I'll try to fix it. But still deciding how I'm going to proceed with these cards. I really love them, and they're enjoyable. The issue is that quite often you've got players who play on multiple teams, especially if you're playing years close to each other. So like Josh Gibson's probably on 2 or 3, and Satchel Paige and Oscar Charleston is probably on 3 or 4 different teams. So, the nature of the Negro Leagues, where they really did not have contracts, and, the players would go from year to year to whoever would pay them the most for that year. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time.